Careful in the wild. You gotta be careful in the wild. Careful in the wild. Gotta be careful. Careful in the wild. Careful in the wild.
Hey guys, and welcome to Josie Nectar, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to make comic book flowers or flower petals depending on what you want. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why haven't I done this before? Like, I made flower petals, flower bouquets for my wedding, but I've never made a DIY of how to make these flowers for Valentine's Day. Amazing, it blew my mind. But today is the day, and you guys are going to learn how to make a bouquet or flower petals for your significant other, or maybe even for your crush or admirer. So I'm excited. Let's get started. Let me tell you what you will need and what you might want to have. Alright guys, so we're going to be making these flowers in my bed because my apartment's small and I don't have anywhere else to make them. So you're going to need 5 things to make your comic book flowers just in general, and that is the template for the flowers, and I will get you guys a link below for them, but they're just templates to trace your flower petals and everything in. You're also going to need a comic. I'm choosing the Watchmen because honestly most of it's cut out anyway because of my wedding and flowers I was doing, so I've already messed up this graphic novel and it's one of my favorites. You're also going to need a glue gun like so. I haven't tried regular Elmer's glue, but you can try it, but I use a glue gun. It's way better, dries faster. Some scissors, everything's pink, and pencil. And give me a thumbs up if you like my Sora socks. They're so awesome. Anybody ready for that? Kingdom Hearts, y'all. And then for extra items, if you want, you can use some glitter, some wrap, some whatever this is. You can also use some of these plant stems, and they just look like plant stacks. And some construction paper, so if you wanted to do like half comic book, half of you guys' favorite colors, or like if you're doing Spider-Man, you do black and white, blah blah blah. Right, so the first thing we're going to do, you're going to need to do, is you're going to need to cut these out. And altogether it should be 7, and I label mine as like 7, 6, you can't see it, but I label mine. So you're going to need to cut these out. The next thing you're going to need is to find your perfect pages. Okay, so for me, I like to find pages that has a lot of comic book graphics on it. A lot of images on it, and for some of it to have some words or dialogue, mostly just images. So I will take something like that. I like that page, especially that part. So I'm going to either cut it out or rip it out. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to trace your images with these. Now, when it comes to making your comic books, the bigger ones, the bigger ones is going to be the ones that you see the most. The smallest ones are going to be the ones you see the least. Okay, so if I want a really good of this one, then I would have to make it so that it's on one of these. Let me see if I can make it go closer. Sorry guys. Perfect. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to look a certain way. I would put it like, if I want his face to be a petal, right? Let me make it closer. If I want his face to be a petal, I will put the petal over his face, and that's where I will trace it. So let's see.
I bet you don't even like it here. You just came cause you got invited here.
Okay, and that should be it. And I don't know if you guys can see it. You guys can connect the dots for some of them. I don't know if you guys can see it. You guys probably can't see it. So I'm going to use a pen, but you see the lines. And you know, when you're tracing it, you're going to be able to see it better than you know, shown on camera, okay? So then you're going to want to cut this out. I don't say most of you guys, some of you guys are perfectionists. I am doing this quickly. I'm not a perfectionist. I am this is what it is. So then you come out with this piece. And later on you'll figure out that when we fold it, it starts to look like a flower, and that's a petal. You see, isn't that so cool? So when you're tracing them, you really want to try and get pieces that are really cool, that's going to show in the petals, especially in 7, 6, and 5 and 4. You want to make sure you get nice stuff show on the petals, and that's kind of hard, but at the same time it's kind of cool because you can versatile yourself with it. So now I'm going to do probably this part because I'm loving this nosebleed right here. I don't know why, so I'm probably gonna don't judge me, probably gonna do this one right here.
Everybody jumping out their motherfucking body. Hey, yeah. And then your mama said, hey, and then your daddy said, but you ain't tryna hear that shit. You ain't tryna hear that shit. And then your mama said, hey, and then your daddy said, but you ain't tryna hear that shit. Nah, you ain't tryna listen to that. Hey, be careful in the wild, babe.
Okay, so once you have your cut pieces, I like to roll the ends of them so it to look like flowers. So I just kind of take my pencil and I roll it a little bit and I let it go, and it creates like a little curve, you see. So, and then for the petals, and like I said, these are just flower petals. So if you want it, let's say for example, you want just a bunch of petals, it could be a bunch of flower petals on the floor, or instead of rose petals, or these mixed with regular construction petals. So I made a construction one also, so I'll show you guys how to do a mix of comic book and that. Yeah. And for these, you want to slightly roll the whole thing. So I will put it right here, and then we're going to roll the whole thing, and it's going to kind of look like that. Bam, we're done. All right, so once you've done that, keep your scissors nearby because you might need to cut some of them. Okay, and once you get done doing that, you're going to see that little right there, that curve right before the petal. You're going to pull it over there, okay? So you're going to, let's say, take your glue gun and you're going to put some glue right there. Just a little bit. You don't want to squeeze too hard, just enough, and then you want to fold it over like that. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit, that's totally fine, but try to get it. Okay, there we go. You want to do this one. Okay, so we want to do the exact same thing.
Every day, pour some more in my cup, roll another one up every day. Every day, every day.
You have some of the petals that you see is starting to make a flower. It's not very much finished yet, so what I like to do is I cut the bottoms of these, right? So I start with the one at the bottom, and this is fine. So I put a little bit of glue at the bottom, and I want them to contrast each other. So I want the petal to go in between two petals. So then I place it in between 2 petals like so, and I just stick it. Now if you want, I mean, this is pretty cute, you can do that. If it feels like this isn't vertical enough, you can definitely bump it some more wires on there to make it stand out a little bit more. So next we have this one. Now if you want, you can have it like that, to each his own or whatever, but I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it and I'm going to flatten it. Put glue at the bottom and kind of around the sides, just so I create like this nice. And then I'm going to place it inside. Okay. And we are getting the flower, y'all. Kind of pretty cool. Now for the last one, it's really pointy at the end. So I cut this one a lot. I do a cut this way and a cut this way. And I also chop it off. Okay, let me tell you why. Because at this point, depending on how all my other flowers look, this might have to be a short flower, depending. Okay, so I am going to want to make this one as great as possible. So once I found a good enough height for it, sorry. I'm going to do first. You might burn yourself a little bit, so be careful. I know I burn myself all the time. Okay, and it's going to be flat like that. And then you're going to put it in there again, contrast to the petals. And when I'm starting to feel like it's too much, I use like a pen and I press down on the middle. Cause then, you know, you're gonna start to burn yourself after a while, honestly. I'm gonna get to these pieces now. These are cool. What I like to do is I like to glue them together like this. So we're going to glue these together. We're going to do a little glue on this end and a little glue on that end. Okay, so now we have glue on this end and that end. We're going to take our other curvy piece and we're going to put it on top of there. We're going to make a little circle and glue it that way so that it becomes a little tube. Okay, and just like the other one, we're going to cut it. So then I'm going to cut the ends as 4 slits. Alright, so you're just going to fold these in just like you did the last one and make that flat surface again. Okay, so then you're going to put that at the bottom like so, and I'm going to use my pencil and just press it so that I'm not getting glue in my hand. Just one more piece. I'm just going to cut this really short. You're going to roll it like so, and you're going to stick it in the middle. Okay, so let's see what we can do. I'm going to roll it. I'm going to roll like that much, right? We're going to glue a tiny batch. We're going to do that. Again, we want to create a flat surface. And some people like theirs really pointy. I'm just giving you guys a template of what to do. That's a small hole, so we're going to use my pencil. We're going to stick it in there. And when you pull it out, make sure you grab on thing in there. That's your flower. Now I feel like you do different colors. I got different colors, and of course they're labeled 6, 5, 7, 4. Okay, and you have the same thing over here. So when you're doing these, you want to mismatch them and see which ones you want. So let's see, I might want that on top of that. See, that looks good, right? And maybe I'll do another green, and then maybe a 4. And like looking at the way the color scheme looks, it seems like that's something I want to do. So then we'll start that. Alright, and once it's done, you get a little color scheme. I didn't put the middle to it just so I can show you guys how to get this color comic book scheme thing going on. Now, if you want your flowers to be on a stem, you will put the ones I showed you. It has a pointy part to it. You want to stick the pointy part through the top of the flower and have it come out the bottom of the flower. This is so you can get all the petals on the flower evenly, and so when you pull that stem all the way through the flower, making a hole, you can put it back in the correct way, which is bottom of the flower to the top of the flower, and whoever you're giving it to won't hurt themselves with the stem of the flower. So that really does help for it to look very nice. And again, like I said, they won't hurt themselves and won't be able to see it. Okay, and then to decorate a little bit, you can take the ribbon or the pipe cleaner, the little colorful pipe cleaner, wrap it around the stem, maybe glue the top a little bit so the pipe cleaner stays, and decorate it a little bit. And now you have like a little flower, and you can put a bunch of those together to make like a bouquet. And also, if you want to do a little glitter on your flowers, I put some glue on there and sprinkle some glitter on top to make it sparkle. I guess the best way would have been to cut the flowers out, put the glitter on them, and then put the flowers together. But we all make mistakes, right? Yeah, right. Anyway, it's still gonna come out great. You can still decorate it, put a stem through it, and it'll still be a nice looking bouquet for when you put all of the flowers together, like side by side. They look really nice. And yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that the way that I do them is maybe a bit complicated or not. It doesn't matter, but this is just a template to get you guys started. If you find a better way to do them, then go right ahead. All right. As usual, thanks for watching.
Why we can't just ride it? Why we can't just vibe? Why we can't be homies? And why I can't just slide? Why you gotta put some tears on some innocent eyes? And why you always trying to carry the guilt? Why you always gotta carry the weight? How you always trying to steal off the next man's plate? How you real but you blending with them garden snakes? See, I wait.